I wasn't at all. I knew of Charlene Harris's work via mostly the Sookie Stackhouse series. But I mean, as soon as I mean, right after I read the pilot script, I got the first book and read the first book before shooting the pilot. Then I was sort of waiting. I didn't want to jinx it, so I sort of waited till the series got picked up to continue on. But then after a conversation with Monica, I decided against reading the other two books because even though there are elements from the third book, even in the pilot, I know that she wanted to depart from the book's plot lines, even though I think it remains true to the essence of the novels. I didn't want to have to grieve over plot points that I grew too attached to. So I wanted to make Manfred my own and not feel too much pressure to be faithful to the character on the page. But,
so for your character Manfred, he's obviously a psychic. Was there any research that you did as far as researching how psychics work and things like that?
Yes, I met a few actually. I met one in particular that I felt was very warm and open and welcoming to me, called the Psychic Anna in Albuquerque, where we shot the pilot. It all happened very quickly for me. So I think I booked the role, and 3 days later we were doing prep in New Mexico. But she didn't give me a reading, but I sat down with her for a few hours, and she sort of walked me through all of her process, and also told me about other people. So I just took a little bit from a few different people as to even the technicalities of giving someone a reading, using different props, either cards or a ball, which we don't do on the show, but yeah, some of that.
Manfred seems to really just accept what's happening in Midnight. Is there a point where he becomes skeptical of things, or does he just say, "This is all real"?
I think it's just gripping enough to just sort of takes him by the throat and doesn't really give him a chance to be skeptical about it. He's lived with supernatural powers and ghosts his entire life, which we'll see in a future episode. Actually, we go back to Manfred's childhood, and we also see Zelda's character as a living person. Manfred is a little boy. I don't get to play the little boy, sadly, but it's a very moving storyline. I'm sorry, what was the question?
He just kind of accepts what's happening in Midnight.
I think he's sort of shocked by it and constantly thrown around. But I don't think I don't think he doubts it. I think it's funny because I think it's a personality trait of his. I think if he didn't have any powers himself, he probably would be skeptical of all of that. He's a little cynical. But yeah, I think the rest he just takes it face value.
Aside from his psychic powers, what is it that you found so compelling about Manfred?
That he was flawed and sort of reluctant to be a hero. The fact that it was such a hard thing to live with. I think he has a hard time controlling his powers, that it costs him very much. There's a whole, I think we see that in the first episode that he pops pills, and so later on he has to deal with that addiction problem as well. And so there are a lot of elements with Manfred that sort of ground him and make him, I think, relatable to real human beings.
Yeah, what you were just saying, he has some real issues, It's kind of a troubled bad boy.
Is that why your voice, Creek, is drawn to him?
That's probably part of why Creek is drawn to him. She's a really overprotective father, and she's probably looking for a little bit of excitement in her life, but I think it might be more than she bargained for. Throughout the season, I was he doesn't so much stuff is happening to him. I don't think he'd be really emotionally available as a boyfriend. But
Is the psychic and supernatural, is that something that you guys believe in?
You?
sometimes depends. I could definitely get. I don't know if this is like psychic, but I could definitely. If I'm home alone, I'll get really scared and I'll be like, "What was that? What was that?"
Yeah, I tend to be more skeptical of these things, but I can definitely. I think I could. I sort of avoid these things because I think deep down I am scared of them. But on a more rational level, no, it's not something I partake in.
Right, like Pringles. Like once you
Once
pop,
you have one,
can't
you can't.
stop. So
Right.
he needs to abstain.
In the first episode, Manfred's character is being chased by someone. And the question I kept having throughout the pilot was like, why does he keep answering his damn phone?
Well, he'll stop.
Yeah, because it's
Soon
like,
enough.
this guy's chasing you. Why are you answering his calls?
I think there may have been a few scenes where he didn't answer the phone, but they ended up on the cutting room floor.
Or maybe he's a little bit in denial.
Or maybe they ended up on the cutting room floor.
Maybe he's picking up the phone. He's like thinks he's gonna be like, "Hey, hi Tower, how are you?"
Yeah. Or maybe you're just
Yeah.
trying to like be like in good faith, like I am gonna do whatever I need to do to
Right.
rectify the situation. But
We'll have that.
Well,
That time will come.
That time will come. I think that it's something that he, Manfred may have done something that he genuinely feels guilty about, and what? I can't say that.
I'm just saying, ooh. Yeah. It's
And
scary.
so I think he may have some empathy for the person who's chasing him.
Are we going to find that there's maybe some hidden or there's more to Creek than we see in the first episode? Or is Creek freaky?
It's all out on the table. I'm just kidding. No, there's definitely more to Creek than we know, than meets the eye.
Very dark secrets. Don't you?
because in the first
Not
episode
saying.
you say that when you were in high school that the people said that you were like living with freaks. So are we going to find out what happened to her mother?
I don't know that the story about you're gonna find out what happened to her mother kind of is just the beginning of what you're gonna find out about Creek's home life.
And then with the character storylines between the two of you, obviously there's burgeoning romance. And every time you guys are ready to like maybe get a little action and stuff, something gets interrupted. So
I know.
what can you tell us about your relationship as it evolves?
They never make it to the first episode. There's always
It's
something.
a running gag the whole way through. No, it's not true.
It's a running gag for a little while, and then
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, episode 2 is when you get it? No, I'm just
Is it episode 2?
Pretty much.
Yeah, end of episode 2.
I feel like they don't immediately know what's gonna happen. I think
I think
actually
they just think like they just think of each other as like a really cute person.
right, they have a crush, but
they
I
have
feel
a
like
cru- but-
Manfred's trying to get serious and Creek's like, no.
Well, not yet. I think Manfred's just lonely.
They're both two lonely souls.
They're both two
coming
lonely souls,
together.
but I think they will definitely learn to know each other and perhaps love each other in a deeper way, the deeper
Maybe,
connection.
but there will always be
through the challenges that they face together, and
Exactly.
and through opening up about their dark pasts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.